Love it.
Hi, folks. This is Karen Trepte, GaijinWorks Coaching, your productivity coach. I'm here with you today with Lisa Consiglio Ryan, a dear, dear friend of mine, with a message that I think is so important to share, and that's one of health. Some people might say, well, what does a health coach have to do with productivity? But let me tell you, it has everything to do with productivity. And you do hear some chickens in the background. Those are mine. And we seem to be having a few little tech issues today, which happens in our online world. So you see this beautiful picture of Lisa for now. We're hoping that that unfreezes at some point, but we're going to go forward because everybody's time is very valuable. So first of all, Lisa, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking your precious time and coming on this interview with me today.
Oh, well, thank you, Karen. I'm so excited to be with you and everybody and to chat about health and all that stuff. So
Perfect. Perfect. So can you tell our audience, please, a little bit about you and your business and what led you to all this?
Well, okay, so it's kind of a long story, so I'll make it short.
That's okay. We've got plenty of time.
Yeah, so let's see about me. Well, I'm a certified integrative nutrition health coach, which means that I work with lifestyle and meal planning, things like that. I don't diagnose or do any medications, but really what I do is I work with clients who want to transition to eating healthier and cleaner, and I help them do that by planning their meals and teaching them how to cook and things like that. So that said, I had to form a positive relationship with food in order to do that. In my first life, I was a teacher outside of a school district in inner city, DC, and I was a teacher for 15 years, and although I love teaching, something was missing. It might have been that I don't like to listen to other people tell me what to do. Who knows? I'm not sure. You know how it's like bureaucracy of the school system. Sometimes I'm like, these kids aren't even eating breakfast. I don't get it. How are they going to, take this test? But anyway, I really realized that I love teaching nutrition and teaching things about health. So that led me to, kind of switch careers and start my own business. But moving way back until, when I was 8 years old, about my relationship with food, I started to, let's just say that I kind of started to notice that I had this really unhealthy relationship. And that just started when it was actually in June. I was 8 years old. I was getting ready for my dance recital. And it's kind of funny. My daughter had hers last night. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this is exactly what I used to do when I was young. But I was dressed in my little cowgirl outfit. It was yellow with fringe. And I had blue eyeshadow and big hair and cowboy hat and things like that. And I just remember feeling really excited to get on stage. I was really shy as a kid, and I, for some reason, wasn't shy that night. And then it wasn't until someone who I really cared about, I was getting photos taken, and they said something to the effect that I was getting fat, or I was, kind of like, you're getting fat, you better watch it. You're getting chunky, Lisa. And it just destroyed my whole image of food, and I started to count my food. I would only allow 5 things a day. And that went on for years and years. Even in my 20s, I remember doing every diet in the book. And so that relationship, although it's a good story in the end, obviously, it led me to my, my business and helping other people. But I became really ill with a lot of autoimmune issues throughout that whole process of not loving food and not using it as fuel, but as punishment, doing a lot of diets. And I had thyroid issues. I was on Synthroid, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, rosacea, cystitis, all kinds of yeast problems, depression. I never slept. And when I slept, I was still tired all the time. And I was only like 28 years old. So, all of those things happening, plus with my teaching career, kind of transitioning, I kind of took it upon myself to learn how to heal with alternative ways. And that's what brought me to the food. So that's that long story short kind of thing. So that's where I am today, where I am, hopefully helping other women use food as fuel and as love. When you cook food for other people, it is love. You're creating something and it's from your heart and it's nourishing and things like that. So that's my mission. with what I'm doing with my business. So
Well,
that's a lot. I try to sum it up in 1 minute, but
no, there's no reason to sum it up in 1 minute. That's why we have the luxury of this interview with you. But that is a sad story. Unfortunately, a lot of us do get messages about food early on in life, and just don't have that balance. So it really shows us too how when you viewed food in that manner, whether it comes from a cultural diet philosophy or comes from a really traumatic experience like you had, you can see in your story, even though you shortened it up for us quite a bit, how much it really affected not only your emotions and your mental being, which is sad enough in itself, but affected your physical health. And you started to list like all those different symptoms. So for the happier part is that you've studied nutrition, and all of a sudden, I mean, how many of those symptoms are still with you, Lisa?
I don't have anything. I'm not on any medications. I haven't had any ailments for over, let's see, probably 17 years.
That is fantastic.
So, I mean, it took some time. It's still taking time. I'm still learning. But luckily, knocking on wood, that just learning how to eat what's good for my particular body has been really helpful.
So you do have hundreds and hundreds of people, or maybe thousands of people, who've gone through your program. So you've definitely added such a value to this world of ours and to me. Do you want to tell our audience about your cleanses? And you probably have one coming up for summertime, right?
Right. So, and that word cleanse or detox can be scary. It could equal another diet type of thing. And so, I actually did my first detox right when I was healing, and I was seeing an acupuncturist. But I was working with the acupuncturist, and we did a 10-day cleanse, like as a group. And I just remember I was starving because you really weren't out. I bought all these pills and supplements and some paste I would have to eat in the morning. Oh, it tasted like dirt. It was horrible. But I paid $200 and some for all this stuff, and I only lasted 3 days, so I was starving. And so that led me to kind of, especially when I was getting certified in nutrition, led me to really do a lot of studying and research and getting extra certifications in a whole foods detox, something that's healthy where you can eat. So that said, I started doing seasonal cleanses with my community. And they're online, they're virtual, so that anywhere in the world, anybody can do them. And the summer one that's coming up is only 7 days. And the reason why, there's two reasons. Number one, we're going out, we're partying, we're going on vacations. It's summertime, we're playing. So 7 days is a manageable amount of time where you can see results. And second of all, raw food is the focus, and you're not manipulating the food with heat or any type of cooking, so you're going to see results a lot quicker with raw foods. And so that detox starts on July 17th. So mainly it is food. You get the meal plan, you get the shopping list, you get the recipes, but there's a lot of my coaching involved. And then the group aspect is really huge, because I think that's where everyone gets their accountability and cheerleading and things like that. So that's the detox in a nutshell. Each detox is focusing on, obviously, the seasonal foods, because we want balance as humans, right? We want balance within the seasons to have things at ease. And then in the summer, the raws are huge. So lots of the strawberries and the peas at the beginning of summer. And then we get into the cucumbers and the red peppers and, the blueberries and things like that for summertime. So also for the summer, the heart rules the summer, which is from traditional Chinese medicine. Okay. They're fairy, so it's really interesting that all the foods are going to be nourishing for the heart too, because everything's so hot and fiery, and it's a fiery time of year. The coolness of those raw foods really help to cool things down and bring us back to balance, especially with the smoothies and the juices. So that's the cleanse. Did I answer most of what you need to know about that? There's so much more to it, but
Yes, yes, and I hope we get to hear a little more about it. I will interject a couple of things, Lisa.
Okay. Okay.
One of them is that your program is extremely affordable. So if you feel comfortable sharing that price point with our audience, I'm totally fine with you doing that. Would you like to do that?
Oh yeah. Well, it's so for the 10-day cleanses, it's usually about $99, and then for the summer one, it's $79. And so, I mean, you do get all the coaching. Of course, I have videos each day, and I like to tie in breathing, meditation, movement. So I mean, like even Feng Shui, all kinds of different aspects, and I have different guests that come, guest experts. You are a guest expert for the essential, for the actually for the coaching part and doing time management.
Right.
Obviously the essential oils, things like that. Beauty is a big part, cleaning up the pantry. So yeah, I believe it's a great price point, just because obviously it's a big program and it's a lot of information, which is valuable. But people kind of take a piece here and then they build each season, which is fun.
That's the other part that I really wanted to interject for our audience, because I'm part of Lisa's program, and it's and I'm an affiliate, so I'll say that out loud. And I really encourage people to participate in this for a number of reasons. One, the benefits that come from the cleanse are obviously very, very healthy for the body, but I'm one of those people, let's say, that it's very, very difficult. So I want to let you know that if you're scared about doing a cleanse, I'm with you. I was too. And the thing that to me that's different about Lisa's program, there's a lot of different things, but let's see if I can enumerate some of them. One of them is that she's not a taskmaster. And I told her right from the get-go, I don't think that I can do this to the T, but I was able to get through the cleanse, the winter cleanse, by simply adding more of the ingredients. So let's say that there was, and of course you won't lose as much weight if you do it my way, but what I'm telling you is I always talk to you about being a productivity coach about baby steps. And I really think that Lisa's program is a great way of taking baby steps towards greater health. I mean, even if I didn't have a half a cup and I had more, still I was training my body like how to get used to these foods, these healthier foods. And since doing the cleanse, I've actually carried forward a lot of the habits. I mean, I drink my lemon water in the morning. I have my apple cider vinegar with hot water before that. Her recipes are absolutely delicious. And I'm busy, just like a lot of you entrepreneurs out there. So honestly, Lisa, like your green smoothie shakes are my go-tos now. I mean, I know them by heart. They're easy, they're fast, they're delicious. My husband's like, almond butter and avocado? Ooh, but when I taste it, it's absolutely scrumptious with the kale in there. And so I just wanted to share that with our audience too.
Oh, wonderful. I know. I'm so glad that you're in the group with us. It's a good time. And like you said, it is a step-by-step process. It's not like a big overhaul that sometimes people think, and then they get stuck and go, I'm not going to do this. I can't do this. But everything's pretty much laid out. I even tell how many apples or bananas to buy. So yeah, anything that we can do to help others kind of get healthy.
That makes it easier too, to have that grocery list. You just go to the store, check it off. You're busy. You just get these things. Do you want to talk a little bit more about the step-by-step, your philosophy? I mean, I told about my experience a little bit, but I'd love to hear about it from your point of view.
You mean the step-by-step where you mean each part of the year, or what do you specifically mean?
Whatever you like, but in terms of just starting with the cleanse as a starting point towards learning better nutritional habits is what I was thinking.
Okay, got it. So what you probably also with productivity, you probably bring in sometimes clearing clutter or getting focused and things like that. So a lot of the times it's kind of interesting. Clutter in our homes is directly linked to our health and how we're feeling. And so I like to talk about clearing clutter within ourselves in order to start to feel better so that you never want to go back to feeling the way you have been feeling. Because a lot of the times, and I know this myself, I never knew how bad I was feeling. I thought this is just, you're supposed to have headaches every day and you're supposed to feel tired. That's not right. And once you start clearing clutter within the cells, which means that you are avoiding substances that are inflammatory. So the caffeine, the sugar, processed foods, dairy, gluten, alcohol, which is sad because I know we want wine, but we can save it to after. Things like that we kind of let go of, and we add so many more anti-inflammatory foods in. So you're, balancing out the system there, especially in our pH level, our blood cells. So our body starts to think clearly, and we start to feel clear, and we start to think, oh, this works for me, but this doesn't work for me. So I'm going to do this a little bit more. And so what happens when you clear out the cell, clear out the clutter within the cells, you start to see more truth, and it's in all aspects of your life. You might not want to see it, some of the things, but a lot of the times it's for our own good, to think, oh, I'm really neglecting working out, or wow, I haven't seen my friends in 3 weeks. I need to figure that out and reach out to a friend and call her. And so even if it's, after the 10 days or 7 days, whatever cleanse that you do, I love to have everyone do like at least 1 or 2 takeaways. Some people go full on and keep eating like they would on the cleanse. I mean, it's really normal food and you're eating 6 times a day. It's not a big deal. But they'll go on for an extra few days. Sometimes they modify. They might add a natural sweetener to their tea, such as, maybe even honey, who knows. Or, they might just wake up every morning with water with lemon, and that's all they drink and in the morning, and that's what they took away. And so each small step, you do that for a few months. Pretty soon, the next season's up and ready to go. And you're thinking, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to eat these different foods that are nourishing to me, and I'm going to now drink my water with lemon, and then I'm going to do yoga right after. And then it builds from there. And then once you start, let's say you start the day off very clean and healthy, you're more apt to have a healthy breakfast. You're more apt to go, all right, at lunch, I'm not going to go to Subway. I packed my salad jar, things like that. So that's the step-by-step, which is pretty beautiful. It can take a few months. It could take years. I have one client in our group, Pam, who has been with me for years. And she's done the cleanses. She'll do great, and then she'll fall back. That's life. But I will say in the past, I would say in the past 9 months, she's been, it kind of clicked for her. And she just ran her first 10K. She lost tons of weight. You could tell in her eyes. Her eyes are sparkling. She feels healthy and happy, has a new husband that she loves. Aww. And I'm not saying this happens for everyone, but it took her years. And she even would write on our forum, guess what, guys? It took me years. Don't think this is going to happen overnight. So it's like that. She took one thing, like she actually took this juice. We did a juice challenge last year. She took that, and that, I think, do you know what I mean? She took one thing, and then it set her up for another, oh, well, then I'm going to do smoothies too. And, oh, I think I'm going to start exercising. And then kind of took that step by step. So, yeah, that's pretty remarkable. I love that.
Excellent. And the community is wonderful. I mean, I know Pam virtually anyway. And so many people will jump in to encourage me, encourage others, and really give a lot of valuable information as well. Mm-hmm. So, Lisa, for our audience, if you were going to give them a few suggestions as to how to start out, do you have some tips for people?
Let's see. I know that I could have 30 tips to 500. So I'm just going to give probably, let's see, I'm probably going to just give 3.
Okay.
So when you're starting out, if it's is it just for eating clean, or you think cleansing? Which one do you want a tip for?
Whichever way you want to go is okay with me.
Okay, let's just do try to be healthier. Yeah, like, because I think cleansing is amazing. But I think even just to do a few things healthy, we can just have 3 tips. The first one is that water with lemon. I mean, it's so boring. So, yeah, we have to drink water. But seriously, drinking your water with lemon, even the 8-ounce glass, you don't have to measure it. You could do a water bottle. I do a water bottle. The lemon is alkalizing to the cells, which means that it balances out the blood cells, which helps jumpstart metabolism in the morning. So it's a great way to start your day, number 1. And it will set you on this path for the day. It's really interesting. It kind of sets you on, well, okay, I'm going to skip coffee. I'm going to go for this smoothie instead. Now, every day doesn't happen, right? Because you might have a really stressful morning and go, forget this. I need my bagel with cream cheese or something like that. But for the most part, the water with lemon, if you drink half your body weight in ounces, that's also something that you can do when it comes to water. Just be hydrated, because it's great for your skin, obviously. It helps you look healthy. You feel healthy. It nourishes all your cells in your body. But that said, a lot of the times when we feel hunger, it's really dehydration. So making sure that you are fueled and you're drinking water and you're really hydrated, that can actually fend off a lot of those hunger pangs that you can get at 3 o'clock, where you might not even be hungry. You might just have lunch, but you want something sugary, or you're like, oh, I'm just really hungry. I got to eat something. I don't have dinner till 6 o'clock. What do I do? So the water with lemon is definitely huge. The second one is to eat. I've had a habit in my teaching days where I would drink a pot of coffee, but I would be done by 12 noon thinking, oh, I'm be fine. Well, of course I didn't sleep. I had tons of breakouts. I was always hyper, and I swear to God, my heart would race all the time. And it's also an appetite suppressant, so I wouldn't even eat until 3 o'clock every day.
Wow.
And then that's where I would pig out, and that was the end of it all. So eating every 2 to 3 hours is huge. It's not like a noshing thing. You're really eating a good carb, a good fat, and a good protein. And when I say carb, I mean fruit or vegetable. Of course, you could do some quinoa if you want, things like that. But I'm really thinking if you do for a snack an apple, like we do a lot, the apple with the nut butter. You have an apple that is great. It's a great carb. You wouldn't think it's a carb because carbs get a bad rap, but I'm like, carbs are fruit, vegetables. And then you just slice it up. In fact, I'm going to do this after our call because I just realized, if I got to get a snack before dinner time.
Yeah.
But, just with some nut butter. I love almond butter. You can do any nut butter you want. And you've got the good protein there from the nuts, and the oils is great fat. So do I mean kind of building that? And that's what we do in the cleanse. Like I actually build all of these meals and snacks that way. If you're going to do vegetables, grab some hummus. Make sure you have the chickpeas. That's your great protein. The olive oil, again, a nice oil, a nice good fat. And then you have your vegetables for a carb. So making sure that you're eating, because I think as women, we forget about ourselves a lot. We tend to work on everyone else, and we cook everyone else's meals, but we don't do that for ourselves. And we're constantly running around. So I think that would be number 2. And then the third one is just to treat yourself like you're sacred. A lot of the times with our bodies, we're negating. In fact, I have my shirt as a Hizma shirt. You can't see it. But my yoga teacher, she talks about a Hizma, and we talked about it at the Spring Renewal Cleanse. But, not committing an act of violence towards others and obviously towards ourselves with words, with actions. And a lot of the times we're very mean to ourselves. And while you're trying to eat clean, and while you're trying to learning how to, transition to eating healthier and living a healthier lifestyle, there's a lot of uncomfortableness that will come up because your body's not used to it. It feels good, but your body's like, let's just go back to the way things were. It's too uncomfortable. So to move through that uncomfortableness, you have to really, really believe that you are important enough for this. You are sacred. And this is very important for you to do for yourself, not for anyone else. Obviously, it will help your family. It will help others. But if you do this for yourself, you'll make big changes, and that ripple effect will happen anyway. So those are my 3 tips. Not very exciting, but those are the 3 tips. So.
Oh, thank you, Lisa. I don't think they have to be
No, I know. I wish sometimes I'm like, oh, and there's this formula. I don't like a lot of formulas. I don't believe in that because we're all so different. So.
Well, and a lot of times there's just general philosophies or general things that work. I know I came up with a lot of my productivity content just on my own from my life. And then recently I've discovered this wonderful app called Blinkist, which gives you little synopsises of different books. So I started listening to a lot of the different books on productivity. I'm like, this is exactly what I'm teaching. Like, they're just taking one of my concepts and making a whole book out of it. So I think that things don't have to be complicated. I love it when they're simple. And so I don't call them boring. I just call them, just keep it simple, because that's what I think as busy entrepreneurs we really need. I mean, we need to know that we can just go squeeze a lemon into some water. Everybody has a few seconds in their day that they can do that. And everybody has time that they can go ahead and chop up an apple and just scoop a little almond butter into a, tiny little dish or something and eat that. And the reminders that you're telling us about to eat every 2 to 3 hours. I mean, I know I'm sorry, but I'm really guilty of that. I mean, I start in the morning and then I just like focus. So that's really a good reminder too. And one of the things that I teach my clients all the time, and it's always preaching to myself as well. I think for me, I always need to teach what I need to learn for me, but to be kind to ourselves. And I think that that's a very, very important message. So before we wrap up here, do you want to tell folks in the audience like how they can find you, Lisa?
Well, let's see. So you can find me on Amazon, actually. I wrote a cookbook called Go Clean Sexy You, and you can download it from Kindle. It's super cheap. Or you can buy the paperback, which a lot of people, I know I'm a cookbook person, so I'd like the real book to, flush through and get all dirty in the kitchen. And so you can find me there. And you can also find me at wholehealthdesigns.com. That's where I put a lot of free recipes, lots of wellness inspiration, lots of, I put some menu plans, all kinds of different things to support you with your wellness efforts. And I'm also super social. I'm trying not to be everywhere, but I'm mainly on Instagram and Facebook. Those are my 2. So Whole Health Design. So if you just, look up that handle, you can find me there.
Wonderful, Lisa. Well, you are very, very generous with your time. You are extremely social. You must have tons of energy. I see you on there all the time. I don't know really how you do it.
I'm always on my phone. I need to stop it. I need to control my phone there.
So you're just amazing. I mean, and that's something too. I believe in all kinds of different nutrition levels for getting support with nutrition, with all kinds of different levels of coaches. But in terms of having something that's a start for you, that's a baby step that you can take. I mean, Lisa's really, really generous, depending on which program of hers you opt in for. I opted in for a year-long program, which I love. But even if you opt in for just one of her baby cleanses, she's super generous in terms of responding to your questions, just really being there for you. You can tell just from listening to her today how big her heart is. And so any last things you want to tell our audience before we sign off, Lisa?
Well, the only thing is thank you so much. I'm really honored to be talking with you and everybody. And when it does come to leading a clean, I'm putting air quotes, you can't see me, clean life, it's just really living with that purpose of integrity. I had to learn that throughout the years. Just really walking the talk, and it becomes easier each day. And so having others to support you is extremely helpful. So I'm just really blessed to be on the call with you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome, Lisa. So signing off here, this is Karen Trepte, GaijinWorks Coaching, your productivity coach. Have a fabulous summer, guys. And whatever season of the year you happen to watch this in, we're sending you tons of light and love. So ciao for now. Talk to you later.
Bye.